5 favorite e-signature features and functions. My name is Michelle, and I will be your moderator today. And with me today, I have Adrian Phillips and Zach Ewan. Adrian is our Senior Manager of Product Marketing, who ensures that products are being built and updated to meet the needs of our customers. And Zach is one of our incredible customer success managers who works with customers like you every day to ensure your account is being optimized. Welcome, Adrian and Zach.
Well, appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, on our agenda today, we will be highlighting how to streamline your workflow, saving time with templates, securing your documents, tapping into integrations, and finally, creating the freedom to work from anywhere. We would really like to hear from you and would like to include your voice in our conversation today. So please ask questions and share your comments by using the question and answer panel at any time during the webinar. Additionally, we are recording today's session and we'll be sharing that recording out with everyone shortly after the conclusion of our webinar. All right, Adrian, let's get started.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to join. I'm really excited about that agenda. There's a lot of good stuff in here for us to talk about today. And so we just wanted to go ahead and get started, Zach, because you're onboarding a lot of customers every single day, all day long. And I just came up how this product and these features can benefit the participants in today, or the audience today in the webinar. Can you help us understand what are some of the top use cases you're finding for e-signature in business today?
Absolutely. First off, hello to everybody that's listening. For the most part lately, especially with our tax accountants, I do get just flat out a lot of people who are going to be sending 8879s because they're so busy themselves. We do have other clients that will also pretty much go ahead and send like new hire paperwork through our e-signature process as well, because that will save them time as opposed to printing everything out, scanning it, and then having a manual signature. They can just do everything electronically. So those are the two most common that we've been getting with most of our onboardings for the past few weeks.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, so as Michelle mentioned, we have about 5 different sort of use cases that we're going to dive into here. And so in those, we want to talk a little bit about some of the future benefits. And hopefully at the end of this, we want you to have a good understanding of how e-signature might be able to help you in your business, and also how the integration into ShareFile, which is going to be the first benefit, is going to be beneficial to you and your business. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so as I mentioned, the first benefit here is streamlining workflows within ShareFile. So for those of you that aren't using ShareFile and those that are, ShareFile provides a very, very convenient and consolidated space for your files, your folders, common contracts. So what I love about ShareFile is how it enables me to be able to get to my files wherever they are and from any device. So I've got all my files with me on my different PCs, my desktops, tablet, mobile phone, etc. So the nice thing about this integration with RightSignature and ShareFile is these benefits of ShareFile always being able to get to your documents wherever they are from any device, or from your nearest device, as my brother-in-law likes to say. So ShareFile also enables you to send signatures from directly within ShareFile. This is totally unique in the industry and certainly sets us apart from many of the other solutions that are out there. And then that returned contract, including with self-sign, is going to end up back in your ShareFile account. So that makes it really convenient to make sure that those signatures are stored in the appropriate client file and everything is nice and organized. And so, you know, the days of files just being all over your desktop and all over the place and not sure where those signatures are gone, thanks to this integration with ShareFile and RightSignature. And one of the other things that's really helpful within ShareFile, it's a huge time saver, is what we call folder templates. And folder templates, the nice thing about those is once you sort of set up a common folder structure, so every time you bring on a client, maybe you're in accounting, you might have a folder for tax returns, you might have client documents and things of that nature. You would have these common folders, and once you set that template up, you sort of save that, and then next time you onboard a new client, we do allow for unlimited number of client accounts, then you would just create that folder structure. So now all of those folders, parent folders and child folders, all get created with a single click. So this is a great way to really streamline your workflow and the way that you sort of organize your documents, contracts that you may or may not be needing for e-signature. And so with that, I want to hand it over to Zach. We're not going to have me rambling on the whole time, thankfully. So Zach, can you show us a little bit about how, or show us how that integration with RightSignature and ShareFile works?
Absolutely. Let me just go ahead and show this real quick. And what I will do is I'm actually going to drag I'm already logged into my ShareFile account. You're going to get the exact same screenshot that you just saw here, the 4 options. And ideally, you would just go ahead at this point and click on eSignature. And then from here, it's going to open up a new tab on your browser. The one thing that's nice about this is that there is even if this is the first time you're ever doing this, there should be no need to log into your RightSignature with your Citrix ShareFile credentials over and over again. It's going to take you to this screen directly. And then pretty much you would just go ahead and choose a specific file from either your computer or the sources. I'm going to keep this simple and pull up this one particular document. And let's go ahead here and pull up this one. We'll go ahead and prepare. And at this point, I'm just going to keep this real simple and make it one person signing. So let's just go ahead and go with, in honor of the Super Bowl, go with Tom, send to my Yahoo. His information popped up already because this was not the first time I've sent an email to Tom. Normally, you would just type in the person's name and the person's email the first time you ever send them something. And you click on that.
So what you're showing us here, for Zach, for folks who aren't familiar with what we're looking at here, so this is the RightSignature product, which is owned by Citrix, and you're demonstrating how to structure or set up an e-signature from a document that you already had on your desktop. Is that right?
That's correct, yes. That's correct. So let me go ahead here, and then just in the interest of time, I'll keep this real simple. I'm just going to go ahead, and on this page 1, let's assume the information was already pre-filled. I'm going to go ahead and create the signature field and a date field for Tom Brady to sign in date. Now, when you initially select these fields, it's going to create this space. With your mouse, you just click on one of these little dots and then actually move your mouse to make it larger. The same thing will apply for the date field. Click on one of these little dots, stretch it out the one way, and then stretch it out the other.
So what you're doing here is you're creating an interactive area on this document for the signee.
Correct. And then the one thing that's nice is what I'm doing right now is that a signature and date field, when I have to send this document out again to somebody else, I don't have to worry about recreating my same fields over and over again. I can use what's referred to as an import overlay. A little bit more of an advanced tactic, but we can always talk about that if there's any questions at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Next. I will then get this screen just confirming if I want to send this document out, if I don't want to CC somebody, or if I want to change how many days the person has to sign the document. I'll just change this to 1 day. Whatever days you do change it to, it has to be in between 1 and 60. You cannot go past 60 days. And I'll just go ahead and click on Send. And on your side of things, you're good to go. You just pretty much wait for the client to get their email. They should get that within seconds. And then they just go ahead and they get prompted how to fill out the document itself.
That's great. All right. So the next favorite feature that we wanted to talk about here is we wanted to get into saving time with templates. So, you just showed how you're able to create those different spots on a document, right, where they would go in and create the signature and the date fields. But sometimes there could be very complex documents that have all kinds of fields, and that I know that one of the benefits of e-signature is certainly time saving and efficiency, but that doesn't feel like it would save a lot of time to have to go in on every single document. Can you show us a little bit about how you might be able to actually gain that productivity and efficiency bump by using some document templates?
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is go back to my previous browser screen here. When you do log into RightSignature, if you need to log into this separately from ShareFile, this is the actual website here at the top, secure.rightsignature.com. And then when you log in with your ShareFile credentials, you'll just get your Documents tab. You will have to click on Templates, and this is going to match exactly what you just saw on our last, I guess we can say, slide. And what I need to do is go ahead and just create a brand new template. I do have to upload a file, kind of like what I just did from the previous process. And we are going to go ahead and actually pull up a Microsoft Word document. The one thing that's nice is you can do Microsoft Word documents or PDFs. And if you do decide to use a Microsoft Word document, when it's signed off by your individual signer or signers, it will automatically turn into a PDF. So before you saw I had to type in a person's name and email. Because you're building a template here, you just type in like what the role name is. It could be signer, it could be client. As long as it at least has a terminology there, then it will know that, okay, one person signed this specific template. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that as signer 1, and I will go ahead and click on next. And then what's nice with templates is if I don't have time to put everything on here, I can actually save my progress and come back to this later. So just in the interest of time, I'm going to create a text field for the person to type in their name. Again, the circles, you just click on one of these to stretch it out. And then we will do another text field for the month. The form itself, just as an FYI, this is actually just people requesting or putting in their paid time off for where they work at, what month they're putting in their PTO for salary people. And I can go ahead and have 2 signature fields. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so what we're trying to show here, so if this is a document that this particular user uses again and again and again, what you're showing here is that you can really just build it one time, and then the next time you need to send this document out, they wouldn't have to go in and put in the signature fields and the text field and all that. Is that correct?
Correct. And the one thing that's nice is, so I'm going to go ahead and let's just say because of lack of time, I'll fill out these other 31 fields later. So I can just go ahead and click on next. We will call this template, let's just say, because this Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, just me being humorous here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just have this, again, set up for, let's just say, 1 day. And you click on Create Template, and now this will always be saved into your Template tab. And then what's nice is if you do want to come back in here and have fields for the different days of the month, you would just click on Edit, and it will actually let you go back into your template and add extra fields before you officially do a send for signature.
Wow, that's a great feature. So I can imagine that once, a lot of the documents, government documents that you're using for, tax or for engagement letters or contracts, change orders, etc., I imagine a lot of those documents are going to be very, very similar. And so this way, once you sort of built it once, you can always get that benefit of that going forward. That's great. Before we sort of jump on to the next benefit here, can you quickly talk about how many signatures and the different ways that you can collect signatures, either sequential or parallel? How does that work where you can, if you have multiple people that need to be signing a document?
Well, the one thing that's nice is if you, just in general, your RightSignature settings will have drawn or typed signatures on as a default. So that just means that the client can either draw their signature with their mouse, they can draw on their iPhone or Android phone with their finger on their touchscreen or a tablet. And if that is not legible, the client can always just type out their name, and that will be a converted, like a cursive format that will be used for signature. In regards to different people, yeah, I mean, there'll be different colors for each person that's assigned to do their own fields on their document.
That's cool. I like it. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about here with some of our favorite features is securing your document. And so one of the great things about our integration with ShareFile, of course, is the great security and the features that come with ShareFile. And so when you're working with RightSignature and you're working with this product and these features now integrated into ShareFile, you get the benefit of these documents, as we talked about, being saved directly and automatically back into your ShareFile account. And so once those documents are stored into ShareFile, you have all the benefits of being able to send those very, very securely. So if somebody calls up and says, hey, could I get a copy of that? And I can't find it in my email, or I think I lost my copy, because RightSignature will send a signed document back. You can always encrypt that link and send an encrypted link through email, but you can also have all of these documents and with all of this personally identifiable information securely stored in ShareFile. So there's never any concern or risk there. And the third part we like to call out here with securing your documents is the knowledge-based authentication. And this is a feature that in the world of e-signature, what it means is that you are providing the opportunity, and this is by law, for certain documents, the buyer has to be able to provide certain information that only they would know. Zach, do you have a little bit more detail on that?
Excuse me, yes. I know In regards to the KBA feature, I'm trying to talk here, is that I know it will be available to those that can upgrade their plans. It is, from what I was told, it is IRS compliant, knowledge-based authentication. When it is turned on, the signer will have to complete like a two-step identity verification process. And this is, to give you an example, the first step is normally them entering their information, including like their name, their address, and usually the last 4 digits of their social security number. And then in regards to the second step, they will be asked a series of questions to confirm their identity, like addresses that are associated with them in the past. And then when they do process each step, they're going to get 3 tries to complete the question. If they're unsuccessful after 3 strikes, I guess we can say, then they'll be locked out pretty much. I do know for a fact that this only works with email delivered documents, but the signer could be able to use this on any particular phone or tablet or computer.
Great. And so just to reiterate, that is an extra cost. Go ahead. Go ahead, Michelle.
No, sorry, Adrian. I just wanted to say, before you move on to the demo, I just wanted to say, if you could explain that first orange bubble there that says it's compliant. Can you explain the legality behind e-signature? Because we do have a lot of people who are very engaged right now, and they're just wanting to make sure that this any document that is signed with RightSignature is legally binding and accepted by the IRS.
Yes, well, I know in regards to when a document's been completed, specifically like an 8879 form or really any document that you do send for e-signature, we do include a signature certificate that the client does have the ability to download for themselves. And it's especially used for IRS auditing or used for any court cases. And I can show this when we do 8879. It will pretty much just show when the person actually signed it. It'll break it down by the hour, minute, and second that they did looking at the email, the signing of the email. It shows that they use a typed signature as opposed to a drawn signature. And it also includes what browser and operating system they were using at that time.
So one of the things I think that's great calling out there is that the IRS does currently allow for e-signature on 8879 documents, and that's the e-file document. Other documents haven't yet been approved, and so there's going to be that's going to be sort of addressed by way of the IRS and other agencies that really regulate and control the e-signature. So in that particular case, you're good to go, and it's legally binding on 8879. The rest, we are still subject to e-signature laws that are in effect. All right, so you had mentioned the 8879. So can we see how that's going to work?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me go ahead, and I already have my file uploaded, or I had it in the process of being uploaded. And let me just go ahead and go back to my RightSignature screen. So I am going to be doing this just for my particular example, straight from the RightSignature side of things. So let me just drag this back over to the monitor here. And I'm going to go ahead and just do start document, send for signature. I will go ahead and pull up that 8879, which is going to be under my desktop right here.
So while you load that up, this is just a great time to share a great story I heard from one of our customers, where they said that one of their clients was, he's preparing, doing tax preparation, and one of his clients had gone on vacation, was down in Florida at Disney World on April 15th. And so he was able to send this 8879 to his client that was at Disney World. He was able to sign it on his mobile device while he was down there. He was able to then e-file on behalf of that client on the deadline. So just a great story that sounds completely made up, but it actually happened. So I thought it's a fun story to share.
Oh, no, definitely. And then what you saw already when I did the Tom Brady example, again, I just typed in a person's name and email, a fake person named Erwin R. Shyster because his initials are IRS. And I am going to go ahead here. Now, ideally, depending on your tax software, whether you guys use Thomson Reuters or Lacerte or anybody else, it will actually have the information already pre-filled by the tax software. Normally, what you're going to do with a specific file is if you're just sending it to one person, you're going to create a signature field right here under the taxpayer pin. And my portion is way too large, so again, with these little tiny circles, I can just click on one of them and actually move my mouse to make it smaller, like that, for example. Now, I know there's a good number of people who do need 2 signers because it's usually the taxpayer and the spouse. So when I typed in Tom Brady's name or Erwin R. Shyster's name, you would have just gone ahead and added another signer and then typed in the spouse's name and email as well. So that should be fine. And then ideally, you're going to follow the same practice as you did with the other previous demos I just did. Click on Next. Well, again, we'll just knock this out within a day. I'm sorry.
So how can you be sure that if you do have sort of a two-signer or co-signer type situation, how does RightSignature ensure that the document doesn't return without the signature? Because I know that's certainly a pain when you're trying to get wet signatures and they send it in and there's an initial missing or a signature, spouse signature missing.
Oh yeah, so in general, even if you were to send it to 2 people or 4 people, you will never receive a copy, or you won't be able to download just one person signing or just 2 out of 3 people signing, for example. The RightSignature system will only send you the email notification when all people have actually signed off on the document in terms of your ability to download a completed PDF. You won't be able to, it won't just send you like 4 separate emails with 4 separate people's signatures. It's just going to wait for everybody to be done, and then you can download that one document with everybody's signatures. And I'm going to go ahead and just send this off to Mr. Shyster, and I can go ahead and actually, if you want, I can just go ahead and show the email from the client's point of view, or should we move on? Or?
Yeah, we got some time. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, definitely. So let me open up a new browser so I can pretend like I don't have an account with Citrix. And I'm going to go ahead and actually...
Yeah, as you do that, because I know a lot of our, our customers, they have a lot of clients and they're working with outside folks, and they want to see, is this something that my client could handle? And so what we're trying to show here is really how simple it is that, even those who can just barely handle email, which I know is real these days, it's very, very simple. Big buttons and very simple language, right?
We try to make it as easy as possible, for sure. Now, my screen, the only thing that's going to be different is I have a red color background because I'm trying to be festive for Valentine's Day. Your default color background is going to be like a dark shade of blue, just as a heads up to everybody when you first log into the account. But the email, the body of the email is going to practically be the exact same format for no matter how many people are going to sign off on this document. It will let them know a reference number in case if for some reason they can't click on the green button or they can't click on the link, or if it's not popping up with the document. We do let them know that it expires tomorrow, and we do also let them click on the button or the link in case the button doesn't work. So when I click on the button, we normally give people 2 screenshots. We spell it out for the client. We let them know there's a red flag they have to follow pretty much, and then we also let them know that there's a number of fields at the bottom. And I can just go ahead and click on Got It twice. If I forgot what I'm supposed to do, I can always click on Need Help, and how do I complete the document as well. We also explain the legally binding process for the client as well, just in case. But I'm going to go ahead and if I click on the red flag, here's where I can go ahead and either draw my signature, which is going to be really ugly, so don't laugh too hard at me, guys. And I already messed this up. But I can go ahead and try and draw Erwin's name, or if that's not legible, I can actually clear this out and do a type signature, which is going to be a heck of a lot more.
Yes, please.
Better.
Much better, thank you.
There's that, and then I can just go ahead and the date will always be a calendar, and then it will be, today's date will be in blue and bold, and then it just pops up like a text format. And then because I have nothing else to do, my red flag disappeared, and I can just click on Submit Signature. I do have to click on Submit twice. And then from the client's point of view, Erwin's good to go. Even though he does not have an account with Citrix, we're not forcing him to log in or anything like that. He can just go ahead and download a couple different documents. The completed PDF, which is what this is a preview of, as well as the signature certificate I was talking about, that does provide proof and does keep us good with IRS auditing. I'll show you that real quick. And that's going to be this. It's going to be a little bit small, so I'm going to make this larger. And you'll see right here, there's what I was referring to, the browser and the operating system. Erwin typed out his signature. He had 2 portions to work with. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in North Carolina, so that's why we have Eastern time for all the breakdowns for the times. And we even also have a long-winded version of the timestamp as well. In fact, I did this on Chrome, and he signed it on Firefox.
Great. Wow.
You get your own copy of this as well, too, guys, not just the client. So.
That is so much easier than having to go into the office and have to sign all those documents. What a huge time saver. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so we have a couple more favorite features here that we're going to get into. And The next one that we're going to talk about is some of our integrations. And so there's a few here that we're going to talk about, and certainly one we're really excited to show you. And that's the print to ShareFile. And so that's a feature, if you are an existing ShareFile customer, you may not realize that you can access through the apps portion of your, if you log into the web interface of ShareFile, there's in the upper right-hand corner, if you have permissions, let's say you're an administrator or your account is enabled for it, you can download an application. It's a virtual print driver, and that will install onto your Windows or Mac system so that you can print directly out of any application that you are currently using. That could be, the insurance form, or it could be a tax document or tax software. It could be medical software, anything of that sort. And so you're saving the step of needing to download, create a PDF, send it to the document, create that link, etc. So in one motion. And so we have added this e-signature functionality into that print to share file to make it even easier for you to be able to get a signature from whatever application you're currently using. And so we're going to see that here in action in just a second. We also have these industry integrations, and so Applied is an example of that. We have, we take our e-signature functionality and ShareFile functionality, and we're plugging it into, iManage is another example, or World Docs is another example in the legal industry. And so if you don't have an integration already into one of those line of business applications, that's where this print to ShareFile functionality really starts to shine, because just about every application you're using today, desktop or browser-based, has a print function. And so straight out of that print functionality, you're going to be able to engage with sending a document either securely or to get signature, or both. And the third, before we get into the demo, is some of the integrations that we have with Google and with Microsoft OneDrive and with Podio, a project management, structured data project management application. And so these integrations make it very, very simple to take a document that you're already saving in ShareFile and then to be able to open and edit that directly into one of these other document creation applications. And then once those changes are done, you would save it right back into ShareFile. So the way those typically work when there's, we do get questions about this, is you are required to have accounts or a membership, a paid subscription, with Office 365 or with Google. But these are some features where you could see that we're really trying to get more integrated into the way that you work to make it easier for you to work the way that you want to. And so with that, I would love to, I'm excited genuinely to show everybody this print to share file feature and how you can send an e-signature from directly within inside any application. Can you show us how that works, please?
Absolutely. So I'm going to harp on the same 8879. So here's a blank one. I'm going to pull this back over to your screen, guys and girls. And let's just say after print to ShareFile was downloaded successfully from the ShareFile apps that Adrian talked about, I'm going to go ahead and pretend I'm going to, quote, print this to ShareFile. So I'll click on the printer icon for this particular document. Print to ShareFile should be alphabetical order in your printer setup in general. So I'm just going to go ahead and do print here. And then on the bottom of my screen, you're going to see a ShareFile icon. Oh, it popped up quicker than I thought it would. And this is going to be ideally an extra pop-up will appear, and it will let you know here's the document. And now at this point, I can go ahead and not only upload this into a ShareFile folder space, I can also then go ahead and send this for e-signature all in one fell swoop. So what I'm going to do,
let me pause. Yeah, let me pause you there, Zach, just to make sure in case somebody missed what was happening there. So what you did is you went to the normal print button here within this application, but it could have been within any application. And then you have this window pop up that is print to share file. And so instead of seeing, my printer's print dialog screen where I would choose color, black and white, number of copies, etc., what I see instead is this print to share file screen. Is that what's happening here?
Right. The first time that you do use print to share file, it is going to probably prompt you to log in with your ShareFile credentials. But then afterwards, it will be linked. That's why my fake company name is just my last name. It shows unlink this account if I wanted to use a different ShareFile account, for example. But that should always be linked after the first time you log in.
Thanks.
And I'm going to go ahead and I just created a folder like 3 minutes ago on a different monitor screen. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put this in my example folder. As you can see, that's the destination right there. If you want to put this in a subfolder or even a sub-subfolder, you would just ideally click on like a plus sign and then just proceed with the different subfolders. But as you can see, the destination is still...
These are folders you created inside your ShareFile account. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. And I'm going to keep it in this. These are all just different subfolders. Let me actually click on the minus sign. So we're going to keep this in this brand new folder I just created. And then in order to send this off for e-signature all in one motion, you cannot click on upload only. You'd have to click on more actions. It has a drop down, and one of your options will be send for signature. And then when you go ahead and actually click on send for signature, left click, just as an FYI, it will then actually let you know that it's going to be available in your web browser. And it's going to be the same browser I've been using, which is Google Chrome. Let's drag it over here. And it already has the file uploaded. And I can go ahead and proceed and work with this. This is pretty much the exact same setup that it would be if you were to click on the e-signature button from ShareFile when we showed you guys that like at the beginning of our session. But then from there, I can just go ahead and go through the same process you guys have already seen a couple times, and then just go ahead and send it off. And then ideally, the original copy will still be in your ShareFile example folder, as well as the signed copy as well.
That is really cool. So essentially now you've got e-signatures integrated into just about any application. And of course, it doesn't just have to be a PDF document. It could be pretty much anything that's on the screen, and it could come right out of a Word document or anything along those lines. So that's an awesome feature. Thank you. All right, so our last favorite e-signature feature and function that we wanted to call out today is the ability to create the freedom to work from anywhere. And so these are great features, and we've been really demonstrating a lot of them, or all of them today, really through the web browser. And so we want to try something a little bit crazy today, and we actually want to see if we can demo something live here to show you how you can work from anywhere. So I'm currently in Florida, and Zach is in North Carolina, and so we want to show you how we can do a signature from remote, and then he's going to be able to get that. And we want to show you how quickly that's going to happen. And so a few of the other features that we want to call out here that make this so simple is the ability to have these simple templates that you saw from your mobile or from a tablet. And there are multiple ways to sign. And so you saw Zach show you two of them, which was the signing on the keypad. And so it was kind of hard to tell, but when his signature was kind of shaky and wasn't looking great, you know, that's sort of clicking and dragging with a mouse or on a keypad. And so that's, you know, not everybody is comfortable with doing that. And so he demonstrated the next way to sign, which is to sort of choose a particular font or signature style, and then he typed in the signature, and that was in that document where we saw the certificate. The last way we wanted to show is how you can sign from a mobile device. This is going to be a little bit harder to show over the webinar, but we are going to sort of walk through the use case here in real time so that you can see that freedom to be able to work from anywhere. And so, you know, almost kind of actually thinking back to the example I gave with the client who was down in Florida signing off on an 8879. So Zach, can we sort of run through that and see if we can do this live?
Absolutely. I'm actually going to, because I didn't finish off my print to ShareFile example, I'm going to send this to you at this point. Okay. Let me go ahead and I'll prepare this. And I am going to go ahead and do, your name should pop up automatically as it has. We'll go ahead and do next. And then from there, again, assuming everything was already pre-filled by the software, I'll just pretend like you're a taxpayer here. And we're going to go ahead and just create this real quick signature and date field.
I am a taxpayer, just for the record.
And
I don't want anybody coming after me.
Oh, no, for sure. The one thing I did click on, you guys saw for 2 seconds accidentally, is if you accidentally added a field that wasn't supposed to be there, you can click into the box and click on delete to get rid of it, just as an FYI. So this isn't something that you have to like start from the beginning again if you added an extra signature field or an extra date field for some reason. But let me go ahead and just click on next, and we're going to go ahead and just click on send document. Okay. And what's nice is when he fills this out.
I've already received the email. Just so you know, email has already shown up. So I'm going to go ahead and start that process while you're talking there.
So when he fills this out and when I get the email that lets me know that the document has been completed, when I show you the signature certificate, it will show that he has a different IP address and he has a different browser, or probably the same operating system, but a different browser, most likely. So you guys will see that in a couple seconds.
All right, so I've received it on my phone, and it's telling me to turn my document in landscape mode and then click and draw right here on my phone. So I am signing right now, and then I'm hitting apply. I hit next field, which is asking me for the date. So that's today's date. And then I hit submit signature, submit, and done. It has cleared my phone.
Okay, and then in case I don't want to wait an extra couple seconds for the email, I can actually just refresh my browser at this point. And I just got the email as well. So I will show you guys what the email looks like, just so you're prepared for future reference. And it's going to be a very standard format. Your signers will get the same kind of email as well. Now it does show, again, the same color background screen. It does show I can click on the View Document button as well. And I'm already logged into my account, so this won't be this will be like the same screen pretty much. But now when I go ahead and actually download the signature certificate.
And I can see it on there, yeah.
Yeah, you can see Adrian's information right there. Now the one thing that's nice is this will show, this is way too small. And it does show right here the fact that he actually did this on a Chrome, the mobile version of Chrome on his iPhone most likely. And the different times and things like that, and different IP address. So that should be pretty thorough and accurate as well. So.
All right. So there it was. That was a live demo. I'm glad that, not that I had any doubts, but it's nice when it all works the way it's supposed to. So we've shown you today 5 of some of our favorite features of working with e-signature within ShareFile. We showed you how you can streamline your workflow by using some of our integrated e-signature functionality. We showed you how you can save time with templates, and so how you don't have to continue to create these documents over and over again, but for those documents that you use again and again. We showed you how you can secure your documents by using ShareFile and using RightSignature to be able to get 8879 signed and have these legally binding secure documents that are approved. We also have tapping into integrations. So we showed you how these e-signatures can be plugged right into current applications or through custom applications that we've done, such as in the case of Applied, and also how you can create the freedom to be able to work from anywhere. And so you saw how the fact that I was in Florida and Zach was in North Carolina was not a problem at all. And within a minute or two, we were able to have a 100% legally binding document. So that's exciting. So at this point, we wanted to open it up to some questions. I want to hand it back to Michelle. You want to take it from here?
Absolutely. Thank you both so much for the information and the demos. We have a ton of questions to get through, but please do note, if we do not get to your question this afternoon, we are only slated for about 5 more minutes. We promise that we will answer your question via email. We have everybody's question, and we have a wonderful customer success team who is ready to answer those. So just note, if we don't get to it today, we will get to it at some time in the next couple of days. So we did get a lot of questions, Zach and Adrian, about multiple signers. So can you explain, if you do have multiple signers for one document, how that works? Is it something you can do? Will they be able to sign the same document, or do you need to send multiple? And also, how do you assign signers in order? Can you put them in an order that you need them to sign in?
Sure, I can go ahead and take care of that one. So I'm going to drag my RightSignature screen back over to here so everybody can see this. And if I was, I'll do the 8879 example for 2 people. So I'm going to go ahead and once again just upload that specific file again. You do click on Send for Signature because obviously that's the normal process. I'm going to go ahead and just upload the 8879 one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Prepare Document. Now, right off the bat, you can go ahead and type in the first person's name. So let me go ahead one more time with Mr. Brady. And then my Yahoo for this example. Now there's add another signer right here. We actually don't limit how many people have to sign off on this. So if there was a third person that has to sign, just keep on clicking on this and keep on typing in names and emails. But I'll keep this at 2 people. So let's just say, I forget how you spell Giselle's last name, but let's just say we're going to send this to her as well. And I think it's Bunchen, his wife. I'm going to go ahead and the way that this is set up with 2 different people, if they insist that you send it to the same email address, I could go ahead and just type in the yahoo.com account. The idea would be that there will be 2 separate emails. One will be addressed to each person. So there'll be like one for hello Tom, one for hello Giselle. And then also, if you notice at the top right-hand side, there's a tiny box for signer sequence order. And if you check mark that, that's just your ability to have this set up so that Tom has to sign first before Giselle. You can always flip-flop the order by just moving the little 3-line squares, one on top of the other, if you wanted to. This, of course, can also go to a different email as well. It doesn't have to be the same email address, as you can see. And then from there, you pretty much just click on Next, and then now you have this set up so that each person has their own separate color I was referring to earlier. So whatever you assign to Tom will always be in blue, Giselle will always be in green. So I can go ahead and, I'll be real quick here. I will just do 1 signature field for the taxpayer, which is going to be Tom, and then 1 signature for the spouse. If you notice here, because there's a second signer, there's a drop down, so I can change the person if I wanted to. There's blue, there's green for Giselle. And then I can also, so the spouse would be Giselle for this particular example. So I'm going to go ahead and just change that to green. And then from there, I can just add the 2 date fields, for one for blue, one for green, and click on Next, and then just follow the same process like you guys have already seen a couple times already. Now, when there's a sequence order, if Giselle is, maybe she was the second person that has to sign, and she's saying, hey, I never got the email, what's going on here? It is set up so that Tom has to sign first. Giselle won't even be able to get an email or look at the document until Tom completes it. So.
Great, thank you, Zach. Another question about signing. So if someone is actually in the room with you, can they sign it on the touchscreen or an iPad instead of you having to email it to them?
There is an in-person option, and I'll probably just bring back my screen, just leave it there for now. But let's just go ahead here and click on Close. Now, if you're creating a document, let's just say at your desk, you can click on Start Document, and there is a More option, and then there is a Sign in Person. And the idea would be, as you can see, there are no email or authentication needed. You would click on the Pro button. You just pretty much go through the same process. The only difference is when you type in the person's name, you don't have to type in an email. It will say email optional. And then from there, if you're comfortable with the person using your computer or your tablet or your phone, they can just go ahead and process whatever fields they're supposed to do on your device.
Right. And we did have a lot of questions coming in about the text size limit of what you can do in a signature box. Does the text size decrease as the length increase, or is the freeform box wrap and you have unlimited character spaces?
In general, we do have what's referred to as a multi-line function. So I'm going to go ahead and let me actually just get through this real quickly. I'm going to pull up a different document, for example. And let's just do, it should be under here. It should be right here. In general, I can double check on the text limit, the text field limit, but I thought there was a 1,000 character limit, to my knowledge. So, but let me go ahead and we're going to send this one to the other quarterback, Matt Ryan, and we have that already typed up a couple times. So ideally, and this is a separate document, you guys saw this one real briefly, these are all text fields like this right here, this paragraph that I have as an option. I can utilize the text field. I can go ahead and actually create this so that it will go over all these lines. And then when I click into the text field, there is a More button. When you click on More, you have more options. And the one that you're going to commonly use is multi-line. So the idea is if multi-line is checked, when you actually end in this hypothetical space, it should go ahead and automatically reproduce underneath the next line. And then you can go from there.
Great. And Zach, do you still have your ShareFile account up?
I do, yeah. Actually,
okay.
It's my first tab right here.
Awesome. Can you show, again, how to get to RightSignature from within ShareFile?
Sure. The easiest way would be if you just did a general ShareFile right here on your dashboard, and then e-signatures right there. So you could do that. If you specifically want the completed or the signed document to go into one of your folders, then you would actually have to go into your whatever personal folder you've already created. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the example. And if I wanted to, I could click on 8879, for example, and then the e-signature button's right here. That e-signature button, when you prepare the document, you send it to the client, and the client signs off on it, that will then, the signed PDF would go into the same example folder automatically, because if you guys noticed, there was another file here, and it was 8879-signed. And that's just a copy of the signed PDF.
Great. And I did want to point out, thanks, Zach. I did want to point out that if you already have RightSignature and your version does look a little bit different than the one that Zach is demoing, this is our latest RightSignature release, and it will be coming to everybody at no additional cost later this year. So I did want to point that out. I understand some people, their RightSignature version may look a little different, and that is why. We are a little bit over time, but I did want to ask you briefly, since you are in ShareFile, Zach, the print to ShareFile, is that a feature that you have to turn on? Is it automatically there?
Well, and just because we didn't show this beforehand, this is the apps portion that Adrian was talking about. After you just go ahead and download print to ShareFile right here, the only thing you'll have to do is when you go through with the print to ShareFile process, when that pop-up displays, you will probably have to log in with your ShareFile credentials just the first time, and that's pretty much it. There's no special like turn on, turn off feature on your settings or anything complex like that, I guess we can say.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you, Adrian and Zach, for this wonderful presentation today. I do hope that everybody was able to learn more about RightSignature and ShareFile and how their integration can benefit you. Again, you will be receiving an email with the recording. I know we went through a lot of information today. Thank you so much for your attendance and participation. We will get an email to you with that recording. It is also going to be listed on our support site as well. And again, if we did not get to your question today, I will make sure that you receive an answer from Zach or one of our many other customer success managers. And just a quick reminder that we do have 3 more webinars this month that we would love for you to attend. I'm going to put the site up here in the chat box so you can have a chance to register for those if you already haven't. So again, thank you, Zach. Thank you, Adrian, for your expertise today. And thank you all for your participation. And until next time, have a wonderful day.